Hey there, Kevin Kolbe here. We're talking about iPhones. In fact, I'm going to share 10 simple, easy to use tricks that not only will save you a ton of time every time you use your iPhone camera, but you can even do more with it. All right, the first one is actually two different tips, but it's all about getting to your camera quickly. So let's go to our lock screen. See the camera icon down in the bottom right? Click on it. Boom! There's your camera. Now that's one way to do it. So we're going to go back to the lock screen. Here's the second way. Literally, just swipe to the right. Okay, so now I want to show you some settings in your camera settings that you really ought to consider changing or at least know about. So let's hop into the settings. All you have to do that is what I do is hit search and that scroll all the way down until you see camera. Open that. A couple of things that I think you should know about formats. So in formats, I use most compatible. High efficiency, it's a special Apple setting that is okay, but I find, especially if you're doing photos, it creates this HEIC format that's just hard to deal with. I keep most compatible, and so therefore you get JPEG and then the H.264. And if you don't know what that means, that's okay, but you can use that anywhere. Record video. I shoot everything in 24 frames, almost everything in 24 frames. And the only way to shoot that on the iPhone is 4K, but you can see there, you can set it in 720, 1080, 30, 60 frames. So there's other things you can do like the grid, mirror front camera, but the one that I think you'll really like is preserve settings, especially the first one, camera mode. And what this does is it remembers the last mode your camera was in. So like if you'd rather it be video and you were shooting video, turn that on and it'll always be video when you open your camera. Okay, this next one is one that I accidentally discovered, but I use it all the time, and it's actually taking a picture while you're shooting video. So watch this. So right now I've got it turned on my M50. Now, if you notice, it's recording right now. You can tell that by the way the record button changed. But you see the white dot right over to the right? It just took a picture, and I'll do a couple more. In fact, I'll put my hand on it so you can see it. So now let's jump in the photos, and I'll show you the photo and the video we just took. So if I go there, there's the video we just took. Right there, you can see it playing. I mean, nothing's really happening with it, but there's the two photos. Remember, I put my hand on it, and there's another one right there. This is a trick that saves me so much time. Now, something else you can do that's really cool is you can actually, while you're in photo mode, immediately change it to video mode. Check this out. So here's a photo. I'm going to take another little photo of my camera, and if you touch that, look at that. So if you hold it down, it's going to be recording. You can tell the recording button at the top, but watch this. Slide it over, and it immediately starts recording. So you basically have just turned it from photo to video. And when you're done, you can drag it back over. So there's also some hidden tools inside the camera app, especially when it has to do with photo. Let me show you those. If you go to the screen, you notice the arrow at the very top. If you click it, notice all these little tools that open up right there. Well, here's one that I use a lot. 16 by 9. Now, right now I've got the phone vertical, but if you look at it square or you look at it 4 by 3, it immediately changes it. So one of the things that I do, I use my iPhone a lot to take my thumbnail photos. So I always turn it 16 by 9 and get the full canvas size, if you will. Something else you can also do is change the look of the photo. So click the one at the very end. It kind of looks like the two circles there. And notice you have vivid. You have vivid warm, vivid cool. So by setting that and taking the picture, then all your photos will be that temperature, if you will. It's kind of a cool effect. And another one I use a lot is the timer, especially when I'm taking pictures for like the thumbnail. So let me show you that. We're gonna go here. I'm gonna turn this back around to me. There it is right there. Okay, the timer's right there. It's usually defaulted to off, but if I set it to like, say 3 seconds, and then I smile for the camera, you notice it right down in the corner? Oh, I looked at the wrong camera. Let's do it one more time. See right down in the corner? And that's a really cool feature to be able to be ready for your shot. I usually do 10 seconds. That way I may change my pose a little. So, you know, at the bottom, you've got photo and video, but let's go over here to portrait mode, because if you notice, portrait mode then gives you, again, different styles within there. So you've got natural look, you've got studio look, and you've got contour look. Now, it also changes a lot. You can do spotlight and stuff like that. But again, this gives you a little different look. Now it's going to tell you to move further away. So if I'm going to move further away, because the thing that portrait does is it blurs the background, and this one may not work as well, but let's just see. Let's see if I move the camera right there, what it's going to look like. Yeah, notice the background is kind of blurring. That's kind of cool. Okay, so now let's talk about cinematic mode. And what cinematic mode is, if you've never used it, it gives you a blurry background, kind of like the background I'm getting on this. I'm shooting this with my M6 Mark II with a 16mm lens, so it's kind of giving me a blurry background. But check this out. So if I go to cinematic mode, look already how much it's blurred the background back there. And if I hit the little arrow again, I can change the f-stop, and by changing the f-stop, you can actually control. So if you're looking for a way to shoot video with a blurry background on your iPhone, use cinematic mode, and you can actually dial in the f-stop just a little bit if you want to. Another feature I use all the time is the autofocus auto aperture, and it's really easy to do. So we're in video right here, and wherever you want to focus on, you just tap your finger. Now, if you notice it's kind of flashing, the box is flashing, but if I tap and hold it, notice it locked in, and it even tells you that the AE, the auto exposure, and the AF, the auto focus, is locked. And that's huge, especially if you've got something moving around. Again, and if you don't like it, you just tap somewhere and it takes it off. Yeah, the iPhone, it's an amazing phone and amazing camera too. So was there one of the tips that you liked, you didn't know about? Let me know down in the comments, or if you even have one I didn't cover, I'd like to know that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Keep creating, because the world needs you. We'll see you next time.